All right, this is documentation of ongoing terrorism, and it's going to be on the watch of the people of the state. This is Universal Waste. Again, less than 2 seconds to walk outside the door, and the ongoing demonic amplification of audible activity through the sound of a dumpster, which Universal Waste is not emptying any dumpsters. It's audible activity. While, again, this group stalker who's documenting using light activity under the light source, and the light source is no longer over building 1808, where it is as I walk toward him, engaging in the demonic pattern of stalking with light. The light source is now behind my leasing office right here in alignment with me. Look at the light source, the location of the light source, while it's over building the edge of building 1808, which is in that direction because that's where I walked, where Heather Till is sending an email at the same time engaging in state surveillance with the state. And as I document her criminal conduct on the venue of the internet, the entity begins sounding helicopter activity, which is why she's going to federal prison. She is also engaging in what is group stalking with the as the speaker companies, which represents the people of the state. You have a whole company engaging in facilitating the state's criminal system, while the entity that is Carla Lopez is pacing around as though this demon is working when he's engaged in group stalking demonic activity with the state. The amplification of a dumpster truck being emptied is means of audible activity, and the demon is fleeing the scene where there is necessarily, like I stated, amplification absent any actual creation of something that's going to create that. It's the ongoing demonic environment, and it's going to be attributed to Universal Waste since they are engaging in the pattern of stalking in the path, and demons engaging in conduct activity related to trash dumpsters, even though nothing about what that demon does has anything to do with what's going to create amplified, thunderous, loud noises of removing the dumpsters off of the vehicle and rolling them into the concrete sectionals. And likewise, being downstairs, being at the hillside at the bottom is not any activity that's going to disrupt the workplace inside of my office with the windows and door closed at that distance downstairs amongst the people of the state. That's amplification of demonic activity under the light source. And it's also the communication of a demon who is psychotic while they exhibit hostility, much like a dog exhibits hostility when it starts barking at you. That's what the mentally deranged do while they are demons engaging in the elements of monitoring and communicating hostility. The entity is also engaging in what is the conduct analogous to what waste management does, even though Universal Waste and Waste Management are doing two different things. The same pattern of conduct, the same amplification method is used, and it is also that which Waste Management is engaging in while I'm inside of my private space. So just want to speak to that. That's the evidence of what is terrorism by the people of the state. Universal Waste systematically monitoring Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. P.O.C., while they are nowhere near, but the amplification of as though they're emptying dumpsters like Waste Management is what is heard. Walking outside, no demon in sight, except for Alexi Zagar, who's going to federal prison. P.O.C. And you already know what they're doing. That's amplification while you're looking at it. Same amplification while the demons are at a distance flying in circles and it's heard inside of my office. This is not going to interrupt your sleep. It's not going to create light activity on your ceilings at nighttime when they're driving in the parking lot. Driving the vehicle is not going to create light across the building. This is all manner of demonic conduct, and that person in particular is going to federal prison, and we're going to drain the pockets of Universal Waste, who will not survive civil and criminal prosecution. Right? It is currently P.O.C. and he's again engaging in either levitating or you have what is the demonic methods employed. The sound of thunderous, loud dumpsters while he's nowhere in sight. Okay, this is P.O.C. and it's currently 9:16 a.m. and LAPD is monitoring through him. That's audible activity. That's criminal conduct by a commercial actor in the specific environment under that which is not the sun that would be over the demons of the corrupt law enforcement agency that are the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department at the Pomona Transit Center. That the criminal conduct by the people of the state going by the name of Universal Waste are indeed telling on the demons that are under the authority of Robert Luna, who will be removed from his position based on the not only dereliction of duty, but this is malicious criminal conduct where the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department at 9:03 on March 22nd, 2022, are engaging in this criminal system that Universal Waste is exhibiting right now. The demonic methods of light activity creation, moving all around, wanting to appear as though you're engaging in something else. The demons that are the LA Sheriff's Department wanting to appear as though they're engaging in their duty, just chilling at the cafe in relevant position, walking outside of the doors of that cafe, which is demonic pacing actually amongst engineered light that's appearing on the in the shade at the top of that cafe building, while those demons open and close their doors, which is stalking with light activity terrorism with engineered light. The same engineered light that you see appearing inside of my office where my shadow is upright and the sunlight is supposedly outside of the door, and the light source that you see here at 9 o'clock in the morning is still here outside of this door at 4 o'clock in the evening, in the afternoon, which is also how you know the condition of that demon operating a vehicle where the demonic method of amplified audible activity, which is not even anything attributable to what that demon is doing. All that demon has to do is roll the dumpsters into the concrete sectional. But he likes to be, again, this is revealing the mental illness. And it's also, now it's to the demise. Now the demons that are group stalking obsessively are facing real-time consequences for what they continue to do, while they also know that they're being documented. And amplifying the audible activity of what is a very simple job is the demonic engagement in the elements of monitoring, and he's going to federal prison for it. And he is, and all of the workforce of Universal Waste, by the way, who represent the people of the state, the same population, they are their own reason why Universal Waste is not going to survive its exposure and prosecution, where it's also going to be published as a terrorist in the U.S., which is how Americans are engaging in terrorism in the United States. Just like Speaker Companies represents the same thing that Universal Waste is engaging in, and they are indeed telling on what Robert Luna and the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department are and what they're doing. The same criminal pattern of conduct underway under the specific environment, not the natural environment, which is speaking to their demon possession. While I remain at Alvarado Gardens, and there's no sun that's going to be over the Main Street and at the Pomona Transit Center at the Metro, that's speaking to group stalking that I documented by the Robert Luna's Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. That's already on the record. Robert Luna is not ignorant about what that department is engaging in, and nor is he separate or distinct from the condition, the demon possession of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, the demon possession of the Los Angeles Police Department, not only through their criminal conduct, but the psychosis that's exhibited. It is made manifest while they are at this juncture in their exposure and prosecution, continuously engaging in behavior which is attributed to somebody that is not only psychotic, but someone that is literally insane. The definition, they are doing the same thing, their pattern of conduct, and expecting a different result. Meaning, if you have not caught the hint that engaging in stalking in a helicopter is not going to result in anything different than more time in federal prison for Heather Till and Carla Lopez, then you are out of your mind, literally. And this is speaking to what is, again, the psychosis that the demon-possessed population, the mindset, that mentally deranged mindset, which is required to engage in group stalking, which is also further illustrated, it's highlighted and underscored, while the people of the state, the demon-possessed population, maliciously engaging in terrorism amongst the government against you for no legitimate reason, seek to engage in criminal acts of obstruction of justice like drafting an employee warning notice. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about all the criminal pattern of conduct that's embodied within the P.O.C., where the people of the state are engaging and acting maliciously with the state, and how that specific environment is telling on all of them at the same time, while their behavioral patterns is illustrating and proof of their demon possession, which is legally relevant when you're engaging in the P.O.C. And all the malicious acts, such as SCI's employee warning notice, is also relevant and revelatory regarding the mental illness that is being revealed through the demonic behavioral pattern, through that psychotic engagement in the P.O.C. It's currently 9:20 a.m. That's terrorism underway by the people of the state, going by the name of Universal Waste, and that's also documentation of impunity. I'm going to prosecute Universal Waste. I'm going to drain the pockets of Universal Waste. That particular employee and the other one wearing the black New York Yankees hat, it's not been forgotten. They're both going to federal prison. Universal Waste will be published as a terrorist in the U.S. They will not survive. I'm going to go ahead and speak to what's going to happen. Mom and pop company like that, they don't even have enough money to compensate me for the threat to my life that they pose with the state while they're engaging in workplace terrorism and federal group stalking and monitoring with the state, two independent bases. They don't have the funds to compensate me for that, but I'm going to drain the pockets. It's a matter of justice, and they will also be criminally prosecuted. That is literally a company that's going to be subject to a crime, and the employees acting in concert with the state are going to be prosecuted for the crime of federal group stalking and monitoring. So I want to make sure that you're understanding everything that the entity is engaging in and all the ways you are systematically prosecuting every aspect of the crime, which is not even touching on it. You're not even broaching with regard to what's required for justice, where you're subject to this by a whole government, using a whole population. Okay. And the entity is using company brands. So you drain the pockets of you want to include your company, thinking you can maliciously engage in this while trying to make a buck. You're a whole psychopath using your workforce to engage in this demonic behavioral pattern as a population. Well, the population is in the workplace group stalking with the state. That's why you have the entity stalking my helicopters. That's why you have a specific environment rising and setting where I work, which is also where I live. Speaking to the population that's already documented by podcast and on video in a whole other different region, this is how an entity is facing implosion, and that prosecution shall be comprehensive. It's a substantial percentage of the population that I documented in Southern California, and they're all facing the same prosecution. It is currently 9:22 a.m. This is P.O.C.